Today's topic is seizure. On the last occasion, we considered the search warrant and the proper execution thereof. Taking for granted on this occasion that the officer has now approached the premises, presented the search warrant, and has gained access to the property, can that officer then seize materials from that property? It has been the common law position that once an article or whatever is contained in the premises forms material evidence for the prosecution of a crime, that item can be seized and retained by the police. Now, the police's right to seizure is not limited solely to articles contained in a yard, a house, or a building. In fact, Section 18 of the Police Act grants the police the authority to stop, search, and detain any vehicle, vessel, or aircraft in or upon which there shall be reason to suspect that anything stolen or unlawfully obtained would be found. What is important to note, however, is that the police, in exercising their power of search and seizure, must only exercise those powers after being satisfied that such an item would form material evidence in the prosecution of a crime. If that item, however, does not form material evidence in the prosecution of a crime, the police does not have the power to seize that item. One would ask the question, if the search warrant stipulates specific items that may be of interest to the police, whether the police can seize an item that is not specifically stated on the search warrant. The answer to that question is yes, provided that the police are satisfied that such an item would form material evidence in the prosecution of a crime. Now, the police having seized that item, what is required of the police thereafter? Moving forward, what must be noted is that the police are bound to conduct their day-to-day duties in accordance with standard operating procedures. To be specific, the police force has what is called a standard operating procedure manual. Standing Order 43 specifically outlines the procedure from seizure to return of these items. Standing Order 43 mandates that upon seizure, any item seized must be marked by the police. After marking that item, the officer who has seized that item must then proceed to make an entry in the general property book. After making such an entry, the officer must then sign to that entry, and subsequent, the officer must then invite his superior to co-sign that entry. There is an exception to this procedure. When the police have seized currency, it is required, pursuant to Standing Order 43, that an entry be made in the cash book where the police have basically seized currency, be it local or foreign. Now we move from the place whereby the items have been seized, they have been successfully marked, and an entry has been made either in the property book or the cash book. What next the police is required to do? It is expected next that the matter will be ventilated in the court. If upon the successful defense of the accused person, that person is acquitted of the charge, the police must then return those items within 14 days. This process is usually assisted by the magistrate or judge making an order for the return of those items. In the absence of an order, however, persons who are so aggrieved and their items have been seized can personally take action against the Commissioner of Police or the Regional Divisional Commander to have those items, or to have an order from the court that those items be returned to the respective owners. Upon return of those items, pursuant to Standing Order 43, the person who is receiving those items must also sign it being in receipt of those items. There you have it on seizure. The police has a right, both at common law and pursuant to statute, to seize items provided that they form material evidence for the prosecution of a crime. When those items are seized, civilians must ensure that a proper record is kept of those items, each and every item that is seized from a premises. An entry must be made in the property book. If not the property book and it's a matter of cash, an entry must be made in the cash book. When the police has made that entry, it is next for the matter to go to court. Upon a proper ventilation of the matter in court, and the person, let's say it's acquitted of the charge, the police must then return those items. A civilian has a duty to ensure that those items are returned. Standing Order 43 basically outlines the entire process when it comes to the seizure and retention of items by the Guyana Police Force.